And good morning, everyone. Those of you who are not from Rhode Island, welcome to Rhode Island. I'm thrilled to be here with our governor. You can see her passion for jobs and economic development. I'm thrilled to be here with my terrific Congressman David Cicilline. And of course, I'm super thrilled to be here with my wife, who is the brains of the operation, as many wives here will understand. I've got 2 minutes to make 4 points, so this is going to be a fast hike. Are you ready? Ready. Good. Point 1, we truly are proud of what is happening here in Rhode Island. And not just the first deal and the first electrons, but also the ability to move the process forward. We are indeed seeing the secondary benefits. As I said in the movie, we did in fact build its own boat for it. Thank you, Blount Marine. And that's just one of many ways in which the offshore wind project here is adding cascades of economic value to Rhode Island. Point 2, the reason we got to be able to do this was something called marine spatial planning. In my world, there is considerable hostility to marine spatial planning. Evidently, it's considered to be a better idea to jump before you look at what you're going to jump on, but although it doesn't make any logical sense, it is the politics of this issue. The reason that we got ahead of all these other projects was that the Coastal Resources Management Council, formerly chaired by my wife, led by Grover Fugate, who is here, compressed all of the regulatory effort into a short and intense process that combined state and federal waters. That was our leg up. And we were able to go to the Department of Interior and say, don't look again, just look at what we did. Test it so you can think we did a legit job. And they said, wow, you did a great job, we'll take it. So marine spatial planning has huge value for this industry. Make sure that you press for it, support it, lobby for it, talk it up. It is the gateway to regulatory efficiency. 3, tax credit support. We got the wind industry the tax credits that you asked for in the deal at the end of the year. We worked very hard to do that. I appreciate what you are doing, and I think it's really important that we were able to make those tax cuts more permanent and lock them in. But offshore wind is a phase or 2 behind onshore wind in its development cycle. Offshore wind probably needs another couple of years of that tax support. So I would urge you as an organization and even as land-based wind developers, when we push for that, support us. We would like to have a WIA's support for this. You are not so big an industry that you can afford to cannibalize each other and make divisions. A house divided against itself cannot stand. You need to stick up for each other. This is an industry that's going to grow. It's good for the onshore land-based folks if it grows offshore as well. It means bigger supply chains, it means more employees, it means a stronger market. For a lot of reasons, I think you want this support for offshore wind. And the time may very well come when they can repay the favor. Last point, onshore, offshore, you are sailing into very considerable headwinds from the fossil fuel industry. And I want to put some numbers on it, because 2 courts have recently upheld the Office of Management and Budget social cost of carbon. So it's solid. If you take the per ton social cost of carbon and you multiply it by the tons of carbon that were measured to emit, you get a pretty good calculation of what the subsidy is for fossil fuel against you. And it's $200 billion with a B, $200 billion per year. That's a pretty big headwind. And if you believe that the International Monetary Fund is A, an intelligent group of people, and B, folks who have no conflicts of interest, you might be interested to look at how they calculate the effective subsidy for fossil fuel in the United States of America. They come to $700 billion per year in subsidy for American fossil fuel. So is it $200 billion a year? Is it $700 billion a year? What you need to know is that is a huge, huge obstacle for wind and renewables to fight against. And we need absolutely to put a price on carbon in this country in order to level that playing field for your industry. We also know from the best authorities that if we don't do a price on carbon, the likelihood of our hitting our climate targets is vanishingly small. So our Earth safety program will suffer if we don't get a price on carbon. We also know from almost every economist that it's the theoretically correct way to solve the problem. We also know that virtually every Republican who has fought the problem of climate change through to a solution has come to the same place. 2 energy secretaries, 4 former EPA administrators, 2 former members of Congress, and innumerable conservative economists all come to the same place: a revenue-neutral price on carbon. So it's the politically sensible solution as well. But when you have an industry enjoying a $200 to $700 billion annual subsidy, they will fight for it. And they are fighting for it, and they're fighting dirty. So as you develop this industry, and as you and your renewables colleagues develop this industry, know the fight that you are in, and be prepared to push hard, because ultimately the eyes on the prize is a proper price on carbon. Politically smart, economically correct, practically necessary to solve the global problem that we have, and the biggest thing that we can do for the renewables industry to really get you fully launched and empowered. So keep your eye on that prize. Thank you for being in Rhode Island. Buy cars and houses and enjoy your time here. Thank you.